Hello, hello, hello. This is Corey Thompson from Dice Tower Dish, Above Board TV, Rose Gauntlet, Play to Z, all sorts of stuff.
And this is the Podfather of Gaming, Stephen Bonacore. You are listening to Board Games Insider, episode 413, and we're recording this late on March 29th, 2026. Board Games Insider, powered by Board Game Geek.
Ooh,
Corey,
good voice, good voice.
I tried. So Corey, yeah, we're kind of late. We're like at the last minute almost recording this one
Yeah,
for this week. We had problems. I wasn't feeling good, and you're in Portugal. We'll talk about
I
that in a
know.
second. So it was really hard to coordinate. Ignacy couldn't make it, but he was supposed to be at Lyricon. He had a family situation, so he could not make it there, which is really a
Yeah,
shame because then you two would have done the recording, maybe even
I
without me, which is
know. I
fine.
was
But
so looking forward to seeing him.
yeah. But tell us about what's going on, like
So, yes.
Lyriacon. What do you say? How you say it?
So I'm in Portugal and I am at Leiria which
Lyria.
is which is an absolutely amazing convention. It's run by Costa, who is half of the design team of Rosa and Costa.
Rolla and
He's
Costa.
Rola and Costa. That's right, Rola Costa. They're the
It's true.
designers of Don Pierre, Lata, Oliva, and probably your favorite, Stevens. Um, and Laria, the town of Laria, is incredible. It's right on the beach. It's an absolutely gorgeous beach, super fresh seafood. The food is incredible. This is beach, booze, ham, pastries. Uh, Meals are included with the hotel, which is really nice because everybody at the convention just goes and eats together. And at meals, there's unlimited free beer and wine during the meals.
That's dangerous, man.
Even even if you're not at the meals, beer is cheaper than bottled water.
That's crazy.
And so there's a lot of playing, there's a decent amount of drinking. I have played some absolutely incredible things. I got to play the new game from Sidekick Games, which is Oscar Granerod's new title. It's called Density. It's a wonderful, simple game of placing buildings on a grid, using cards, ticket to ride style. So you have colored cards, which lead to colored spaces, and the more you play at once, the taller a building you can make, and you score for buildings that are shorter than yours and adjacent to yours. It's a very simple concept, but so good. Coming out in Q1 2028, I
Hmm.
believe. So very early
Mm-hmm.
prototype. I played the new game from Fabio Lopiano and Mandela FG, which is in their series of games. Theoretically, it's on the same vein as IR. It's a game based on the Timor civilization of ancient South America. It is a heavy Euro that I absolutely loved. You build buildings, feed workers to build the buildings, deliver goods to well-fed buildings, and there's this real good tension of you can score by feeding and helping your own buildings or gain reputation by feeding and helping the other players' buildings. So do
Oh,
you want the
nice.
score or do you want reputation, which leads to end game scoring? So good. I got to play the new edition of Quebec, which is an incredible game. This is a game from way back when, I think 2009. And it is a game about 400 years in the history of building up the city of Quebec. It has a unique scoring system I've never seen before. It's a little hard to describe, but very easy to see physically on the board. And it is incredible. The new editions coming from Spielworks and Capstone soon.
Spielworks.
I think this
Uli.
summer. Uli taught me and played it.
Oh,
Such
awesome.
a good game. It's an insta buy for me. And then, I mean, just the level of people I'm bumping into. Ben Maddox from Five Games to Doomsday. Mark Herman, who's the father of wargaming and one of the most incredible wargame designers out there. Matthias Kramer of Kramer and Kiesling. Friedemann Fries, Mr. Green himself.
Yeah.
Fabio Lopiano, who I mentioned before. Uh, and I got to meet so many locals who were fans of the show. Miguel Ferreira, Ricardo Miguel Ferreira, who writes Yoga Forte. newsletter about board gaming, and he gave me all sorts of gifts and pictures. He's a graphic designer. Um, I got to meet my long lost brother. There's like three people out here who look just like this, unfortunate for us.
Yeah, that's so
Uh,
it's such an attractive look, Corey. Oh, you're so beautiful.
the just the
Yeah.
welcoming outpouring, the quality of the food, the quality of the people, the quality of the games, the beauty of the location. The
Nice.
weather has been gorgeous. This is an amazing, amazing convention.
Ah.
This is Today is Sunday, so this is technically the last day of the convention. I'm leaving tomorrow back to Lisbon, and then staying in Lisbon for a day, and then it's back to the US, back to the grind of the life that is Corey.
Well, man, that's great. And I got the invitation to Uli asked us to both to go, but I could not make it there this year. I certainly hope that
I
I
so
can get
recommend it.
there in the future because it just sounds absolutely amazing. So over here at the Podfather Gaming, besides being a little under the weather, sadly, which caused us the delay here, um, not much happening though. We Paul and I working on the house project for the new home, for the interior design and stuff like that we're doing there. And then I'm going to be leaving very soon, in 2 days, for Atlanta for a quick 2 night trip with my degenerate brother there. He's having an event, so I got to go there, visit him. But then the week after that, I go to a local, air quote local, gaming event. It's a private gaming event thrown by some friends in Sarasota. So it's like a 4 hour drive here in
Oh,
Florida
how
on the
fun.
other coast. Yeah. Going with my good friend Rod Phelps, who you know, and Mike
Yep.
Chappie Chapman. We're going there to hang out. I think it's around 20 guys, something like that, just to hang
That's
out for the
amazing.
weekend. It's gonna be a fun little event in like a gaming space that they rent out, and they've been doing this as their seventh time. So big shout out! I guess I can even name it. It's called Contagion Con. So this
Oh
is,
yeah.
and they even theme it every year. So this is Contagion Con 007. So you can just think seventh one. Going to be a lot of James Bond stuff going on. From there, the next week it becomes frantic for the rest of the month of April into May. I'm gonna fly out to Vegas for yet another event with my brother, non-gaming events. Fly out there for a bunch of days. From there, I fly directly to see Corey and friends at the Gathering
Yeah.
of Friends in Niagara Falls, New York.
I can't wait.
I'm there for a short period of time, sadly, only about 4 days, but I'm going to make the most of that. I've already scheduled all kinds of dinners and gaming with people. And from there, I fly to Panama City to get on Podfather the cruise going through the Panama Canal. So, very excited about my own cruise and for once, once in a lifetime going through the Panama Canal, where we're definitely bringing Panamax. I'm pointing at that game right here in my
You
collection, directly
did so
behind
good.
me. That was pretty good. I just realized it's right behind me. And then from there, I'm going to fly to well, we go through the Panama Canal. We make a few stops in Costa Rica and Mexico. We end up in LA. I'm going to fly to New Jersey from there to see my mom for Mother's Day. I figured, you know what? I'm already away. I'll just fly there for an extra bunch of days and see mom and the family. So all that coming up. The only other thing I want to mention is that Play to Z going to Kickstarter this week. By the time you hear this, when this podcast drops on Wednesday, April 1st, no April Fool's joke here. We're launching Meeple Vacation Water Park. So it's on April 1st, and this whole meeple thing is not a joke. What do meeples do when they're not being used and abused by you? Well, they take a vacation. It's a very silly romp through a meeple water park. Of course, it's worker placement of the meeples to score on slides and rapids and such. Corey played an early prototype, he said, of it on the last show. We've got about 400 people already
Yeah,
signed
played
up
it
for
way
the
back in 2016 on a cruise.
Oh, cool. There you go. Right. So, Corey, I owe you a bag of candy for the use of the word meeple. As you know,
Of course. Yep.
Corey
Yep.
has meeple trademarked in the U.S. And we'll make sure that we do good by you on that to make sure that you continue to maintain the trademark for meeple. And anybody who wants to use the word meeple, you can just giving Corey some candy.
Candy
That's
and credit.
Candy and credit. There you go. That's all he wants. So that's where it is. That's where we are with this. Go to Kickstarter.com, search for Meeple Vacation or Play to Z, and you'll see it. And it goes live on April 1st. No joke. And with that, let's go to the event deck. All right, so we have a bunch of
We do. A lot of news.
fairly big news here, and Asmodee is going to feature very prominently in this. The first one comes from a press release that Asmodee put out, and they have acquired Japon Brand. Is that what it is? Yes, it is.
Yeah.
As it comes up here, as
So,
part of this. Let me read a little bit, then we can talk
yeah,
about it.
yeah,
As part of
yeah.
this initiative, Asmodee has integrated Japon Brand, a respected scouting and agency platform dedicated to identifying and promoting Japanese game designers internationally. This acquisition from CMoN, so they brought this away from CMoN,
Right.
forms the cornerstone of the studio's creation and strengthens Asmodee's long-term commitment to Japan and its ability to support local creators while accelerating the international reach of Japanese designed games. Over the years, Japon Brand has built strong relationships with the local vibrant tabletop ecosystem and has contributed to the international recognition of several acclaimed titles. So, Corey, the one thing that I find interesting about this is that Japon Brand itself is like an agency as much as anything
Yeah.
else. They go out and they find games from various Japanese designers, and then they sell the designs
And
over
it's been
to
going for
people.
a while. So Japon Brand has worked with some very notable games, Love Letter, Trains,
Yep.
Parade, Machikoro. These all at some point have gone through Japon Brand. So it's really a great little piece that Asmodee is now in control of as part of CMON divesting, selling off a lot of their properties.
Yeah, but it's kind of interesting that so what is Asmodee acquiring? They're acquiring the ability to go out into Japan in a more seamless way. You see what I'm
Uh,
trying to say? So
it's
what?
Japan Brand does have a bunch of properties under their umbrella, so I think they're acquiring a bunch of these IPs as well.
Okay, okay. Do they own? I don't. Do they own the property of? Because they mention it. Do they own the property of Love Letter? Because that's one of the
Love
ones that
Letter has
came out
switched a
of.
lot. I don't know that they own it now. I think it's AEG,
Hmm.
isn't it? It's
AG is the
switched
one
a
who's
lot.
published it a lot for the longest time. Yeah.
Yeah, it
So
has definitely changed all over the place.
okay. So interesting. And then we continue with Asmodee acquiring, and this one really struck me as very weird. Asmodee acquires board
Yes.
game publisher ATM Gaming with payment in
Yeah.
cash and issuance of Class B shares. Let me read a little bit, then we'll analyze this. Asmodee has today entered into an agreement to acquire board game publisher ATM Gaming SAS, which means it's from Sweden. I forgot where SAS is.
I think
Uh,
so.
yeah, with hit titles such as Speedbach Quickstop, Mutan Mutan, and Pili Pili. Huh. The acquisition
Now,
further strengthens the global positioning of Asmodee in social games, the fastest growing category of the board games market, and is expected to contribute to the company's organic growth engine while being margin accretive. Love those words. The purchase
hmm,
prices cash and debt free. It amounts to, and here's the interesting, it amounts to 180 million euros as the price, with payments in cash and issuance of Class B shares. So,
right. It's about,
Corey,
if I
go
remember
ahead.
correctly, it's 70% cash, 30% shares.
Sure.
Now, what's really weird is I think part of our surprise is we're taking this from a very American perspective. I've talked to a lot of Europeans here, and Quick Stop especially is incredibly popular. So all of these games are mass market titles.
Right?
So they're a little bit separated from our hobby strategy side of the industry, but they are European mass market titles. So I think there is a lot of value here. However, everybody does agree the amount of payment is very high. Asmodee has said they expect to get 50 million euro revenue from this company, from ATM. So even so, they are paying 3.5 times gross revenue, which means they're paying probably like 25 times profit for this company. There's got to be something else
Yeah,
going
I'm
on here. It's a speculation.
yeah.
Where is the market going? Something else
I,
is involved in this price.
I was floored by this price. First of all, I've never heard of this company. Okay, so there's plenty of
I think that's the
mass.
American bias.
Fair. But you even said that a lot of the Europeans you spoke to didn't know it, but some of them obviously did know it, right? Is that what it was?
They all knew these games,
They knew the titles, but
especially
they never
Quick
heard
Stop.
of ATM Gaming. Okay, fair. The price of 180 million euro, that comes out to over 200 million US,
That's
is
huge.
is tremendous amount of money. And like you said, the revenue that they were going to be getting out of this, the revenue, not the profit, about 50 million in net sales, um, and in excess of 25 million euros in EBITDA, that would be profit. So that's yeah, that they're gambling that these games are going to now be
Or they're
transitioned.
gambling on future games that we don't know about yet that they say they think will get huge,
That's one possibility. The other one is I'm thinking these games they're going to make big in English speaking markets where they're not big right now, like in the US
right?
or in England
In that
across
case,
the world.
maybe it's a positive that we have never heard of these games,
Sure. I mean, and they may be great mass market games. There certainly are so many better mass market games in Europe than there are in the US. But very few people have been able to take those games and really make them big over here because our culture isn't really about gaming. You know, the mass market here is not about good games, sadly. I'm interested to see what Asmodee does with this company and these titles because I
yeah.
don't get the math on this at all. So, smart company Asmodee. So we're gonna
Yeah.
see how they take this and translate this into
And I actually
actual
have
profit.
one more tiny little Asmodee piece of news,
Yeah.
breaking news. This
Breaking,
just
come
showed up
on.
today. So Asmodee has acquired the exclusive right to distribute the board game Ostia and actually make a new version for retail of Ostia. Ostia is a very popular Japanese game that's an homage to Trajan about Roman ports. It's by our friends over at Crafty Games. So I thought that was interesting that that game has hit kind of Asmodee's view. Asmodee's eye is on it.
Did I just write that correctly in the show notes? Ostia?
Yes,
Because I do know this game, but I just can't remember it. But
I've played it. It's a
and
fantastic game.
you
I
just
love it.
heard this at
It was
Laracon?
on ICV2
Oh.
as of this morning.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you
So
for bringing
my
that up.
morning is your middle of the night. It's
Yeah, things like that. Exactly. Well, that's very interesting. Thank you for bringing that one up. So, of course, we just want to end. We do want to end the whole diamond thing, and let's not go
I
too
put this
deeply.
in just for you. I
Yeah,
didn't even read
I bet you did. I didn't even see this. Um, so ICV2.com is reporting that there's a little more news in the Diamond bankruptcy. And this is ad populum company Sparkle Pop LLC is emerging as an additional obstacle to the return of the nearly $50 million in consignment inventory at the center of a dispute between publishers and Diamond comic distributors. The consignment goods are currently stored in the Olive Branch, Mississippi warehouse Sparkle Pop took over from Diamond as part of the purchase of the comic-related assets in May. While Sparkle Pop is not taking sides in the dispute between the consignment inventory publishers who want their inventory back, and the bankrupt estate of Diamond Comic Distributors, which wants to seize and sell the inventory, is asserting an interest in the dispute via a filing this week. Specifically, Sparkle Pop says the bankruptcy estate owes
Yeah.
$500,000 in rent for the inventory, an amount that increases by $125,000
So
each month.
this is really
Come
interesting.
on.
While they're fighting
This
over
is
who
such
gets the
crap.
consignment, no, this is interesting. While all the groups are fighting over who gets this inventory, meanwhile they've sold the warehouse where it's sitting, and the people who own the warehouse want their money for storing it while they're fighting over who gets it.
I'm so fed up with people trying to make money on all this stuff. You
Well,
know
this
that
sounds pretty legit from Sparkle Pop. If they own
no
the warehouse and they're storing it, they should be paid for storing it.
fair. $125,000 per month. I'd like to own that warehouse. That would be a
I
great
would too.
business. $125,000 per month in storage fees. Come on, guys. I mean, maybe that's
Rental
their
for
opening
the
bid. I mean, that's got to be knocked down to
It's
like a
$50
reasonable.
million worth of inventory. I
Okay,
don't know what this translates to. I don't know if this is a ridiculous amount or
there,
what, or it's a
there.
ridiculous rent. I don't know which.
It's ridiculous, rent. I'm telling you right now. That is. Anyway, all right. Sorry, I'm sorry for wasting your time, listeners, about more of this nonsense on Diamond, but it's a shame that we've come to this.
It's all his fault.
It's my fault. All right. Play the North celebrates. What is it? Like, Corey, like your little name
No,
there is like
this was
cele-
really amazing. So there's a new, I'm going to call it a convention starting up in Canada called Play the North. And
Oh,
Play the
wow.
North is there to connect Canadian board game retailers and players with Canadian publishers and Canadian designers and Canadian artists. They're celebrating the art of board gaming in Canada. And it's going to be a series of um, conventions, play days at stores. Absolutely incredible. And you can get details on it on playthenorth.ca. Uh, there's a whole bunch of involved companies. It's Kid Table Board Game, Roxley, Off the Page, Inside Up, Burnt Island, Steeped Games, P. Meadowy, um, all sorts of really good companies involved. The first one is Play the North 2026 in Edmonton, and there's plans to have a whole bunch of them. There's announcements during Breakout Con in Toronto, which just ended, as well as the Edmonton Gobfest, which just ended, and FallCon Calgary, which is happening in August.
That's really cool. Very, very cool that
I
they're
love
doing
that.
this.
Yeah,
They're bringing people,
there are
bringing.
so many absolutely amazing Canadian designers, and this is a celebration of board game industry in Canada.
Bringing them all together. That's a really fantastic thing. So, this was sent to us directly from Jeff Engelstein, noted game designer, co-designer of Lord of the Rings, Circle of Conflict with Stephen
I've heard of
Boncourt.
that game.
You heard of that game coming to you from Asmodee later this year. And Jeff is the president of the TTGDA, which is, it rolls right off the tongue, the Tabletop Game Designers Association. So,
I
right,
think it's a good name.
this is a advocacy group for designers, right? Any designer can be a member, and then you get certain benefits, such as they'll review the contracts that you're going to sign with a publisher. They advocate for doing things like putting designers' names on the boxes and things like that. They have a whole list of services that they provide for you. Great organization that Jeff started with Elizabeth Hargrave.
Yeah.
I believe I don't want to mention people. I might get them wrong, but it
It's
was
a
started.
fantastic resource for designers to compare notes, ask questions, get involved with the industry. What's a fair contract? What is expected?
Mhm.
Is this right? Compare notes with other people. It's a resource.
Right. And so what they did is they surveyed their membership regarding AI, the use of generative AI, and how they felt. We're
It's
gonna
actually
su-
a It's
Go
a
ahead.
very long survey, and there's a
Yeah.
really wonderful summary of
Yeah.
all of it on Board Game Wire right now.
Oh, very good.
Um,
I
and
would like
it's
to summarize the eight main points that they
yeah, of
had there,
course.
because I think the audience will probably want this amount, and then they can go deeper there by either going to ttgda.org or going over to Board Game Wire, our friends over there.
Yeah,
Um, of the 470 members, 171, so it's 36% responded to the survey, and here were the takeaways. Just over half of the respondents have tried using generative AI for something related to game design. However, of the 7 types of use that were specifically asked about, none has been used by more than 40% of the designers. So nobody is using like everything. So, they're just using various pieces of AI. Many respondents were all or nothing on generative AI, with over a quarter being opposed to all uses and another fifth not opposed to any of them. Interesting. So it's a very big split here. About a
yeah.
quarter of the respondents have tried using AI to come up with game ideas or mechanisms, while over half of the designers said they were strongly opposed to this use of AI. There is almost there is almost no support for using AI to make the art that will be included in a published game. However, almost a third of the respondents have used AI to generate placeholder art for their prototypes. Understandable. About a quarter of designers use AI to edit text they've written, while fewer than one-fifth of the respondents use AI to generate placeholder text, and fewer still use it for text to be included in the final version of the game. Okay. About 4 in 5 respondents, so a lot of them, say they do not want publishers to use AI generated marketing materials for their game and are not
Yeah, it was
using it to generate
81%.
not using it to generate marketing materials themselves. Designers designers other uses of AI include as a tool designers other uses of AI include as a tool to help them do math, run simulations, and code digital implementations for human play. So they're using it for the crunchy stuff. Okay.
Yeah,
Other concerns mentioned in open-ended responses include commonly cited problems such as plagiarism and AI's environmental impact. Designers also had more industry-specific concerns, such as the possibility that AI could flood the market with bad games, degrade publisher decision-making and customer service, and divide the game-making community. So I found this to be fascinating that, first of all, it was pretty split on on whether it's okay to use AI in general or just not to use it. That was pretty split overall, but most designers were using AI in some regard, specifically around doing the running the simulations and things like that. There was
yeah,
quite a
or
few doing that.
placeholder. Placeholder was
Placeholder
used quite a bit.
artwork was a big thing, but it's pretty split.
Proofreading.
Yeah.
I think the biggest issue that this is pointing out is AI is a very, very broad and very, very complex term. If you say
Hmm.
you are completely against AI, it's like saying you're completely against verbs. There's some verbs that are, you shouldn't use. There's some verbs you should, but AI just has so many definitions. Um, so there's some people who are, rightfully against plagiarism of art and appropriation of art that AI uses in order to generate final images, and I'm
Right.
against that myself. But that doesn't mean that generative fills on Photoshop, which is AI driven, uh, is also something that should never be used. The environmental side's a lot more complicated because AI does use an absolute ton of energy. And actually, right now, we're in a computer memory crisis because trying to get RAM for computers is almost impossible because AI systems have bought them all up. So the
Amazing. Yeah.
environmental impact is huge. So it's a really interesting survey with
It
a
is a very
lot
interesting
of
story.
different sides to it.
So yeah, go over if you want more and the detail broken down. Go over to the ttgda.org or over to boardgamewire.com, and you can hear the entire story that they put out there. And thank you, Jeff, for sending that over to us. We really appreciate it. Great work that they're doing over there for game designers. Corey, so you gave us this very interesting article here from Genius Games
Yeah.
on Elf Creek games. So
And I
why don't you
do
tell us about
apologize. It's
this?
a little behind. We talked about it a little bit earlier. So Elf Creek Games, is a creator of lots of really famous games. Honey Buzz is probably the most famous one they had. Santa's Workshop is the most recent, and they have a lot of Kickstarters that were ongoing. Now, Elf Creek ran into trouble and actually closed shop, and there were some Kickstarters still not fulfilled, and there was question about what's going to happen. Merchants of the Dark Road and uh, Honeybuzz and what's going to happen with these games. So in July, Genius Games assumed operational leadership of Elf Creek Games under the executive direction of John Covey, who's the owner of Genius Games.
Yep.
And the accounting was being overseen by Simple Financials LLC. So that's been going on for a little while now. Like I said, it started in July of 25. Um, and we talked about that a little bit. But now they're proud to announce that they're now profitable. So they've actually dug Elf Creek out of the hole, and they have a plan for fulfillment of these lost Kickstarter projects. Um, and all of this is on Genius Games' website, geniusgames.org. And the article is called Behind the Scenes Look at How Elf Creek Games Came Back from 3 Years of Losses and Finally Fulfilled Santa's Workshop. But there's so much more to it in this article. Santa's Workshop, the most recent Kickstarter, is delivering now, and there's all sorts of details on where the games are and when they can be expected and who's involved. It's involved through all play and things like that. But there's also numbers about how the profitability is going. In 2022, Elf Creek Games was down 11%. In 2023, it was down a further 33%. And in 2024, when it started to close up shop, it was down 8%. And now in 2025, Elf Creek Games has shown profitability of 12%. They're up. So after 3 years of losses. So this is quite an undertaking, and it's a very long press release with a lot of details that are too business oriented for my short attention span. But congratulations
Yeah.
to John Covey and Genius Games. I can only assume this is leading to a acquisition merger, something of this sort. And
Yeah.
I've seen at conventions that Genius Games is selling Elf Creek games at their booth and kind of integrating all
Yeah.
the products in. So I think it's a good thing because Elf Creek was really famous for beautiful quality of games. Their production qualities were gorgeous. Their pieces were fantastic, and they had really interesting games.
Yeah, I know John, not very well, but I know him, and I find him to be one of the smartest guys in the industry. I don't know, I doubt he's a listener, but yeah,
I did
John.
an interview with him quite a while ago, and he's got a very fascinating background
Yep.
history. He's almost entirely self-taught on all this, and he
Yeah.
really is so smart and so motivated.
Yeah, exactly. I can't really say there's some things going on between us at the moment, he and I, but a really smart guy. So uh,
Yeah,
I'm very interested to see and to read this entire article to see how he turned around Elf Creek from really not doing well at all, to now, being profitable, which is fantastic. Congratulations to Genius Games and John.
absolutely.
So, Corey, you also put this one up here regarding our friend
This
Ross Thompson.
Ross Thompson's such a great guy. Ross has done so many different things in the industry. He basically was in charge of the board game division at Comic-Con. And now Ross posted, now that the contract is signed, he's happy to announce that he's joining the team at Critical Role as their integrated marketing manager. So congratulations to Ross. This is really a big deal. Critical Role is doing very well. They've got their new rule sets and their videos are always doing fantastic. So he's their new marketing dude. I
That's
think
that's
this is
amazing.
great.
I've not watched much of the Critical Role stuff, but I hear it is so amazing. I really have to watch it, and it's great to
It
see
was
that.
one of the first best live role-playing video series, and the story that they've done is, it's led to such success. Most
Yeah,
notably, Vox Machina, the award-winning Netflix animated series. That's
amazing,
Critical Role. So they're
amazing.
doing fantastic.
Yeah, that is great. So congratulations to Critical
Before
Role
this,
and
Ross
Ross.
Ross was running the miniatures division over at Asmodee for Atomic Mass.
Oh, great.
So this is, yeah, great
So,
move for him.
right, that is great. Congratulations to everybody concerned. And with that, let's get to strategy and tactics. All right, here. So, I have a little note here that I wanted to make sure that I mentioned.
I don't know. We need to take this note. This is really,
This
I don't
note
know.
is this note is really cool. So one of our
Uh,
listeners, Ramon Mercado, Ramon, hey man, I see Ramon at PAX Unplugged every year. We always get a chance to maybe get a beer, and he placed into our guild. So everybody out there should be part of the guild and watch the things that are going on. He just put a thread, a separate thread, not in strategy and tactics, not in the play testing threads. He put a separate thread out there where he talked about his H index because we talked
I
about this and
this is
Corey
my
talked about
very
this.
favorite statistic is the H index on
Corey,
BG stats.
Corey,
And
what's your H index,
I
Corey?
don't want to talk about it.
No,
I
no, no,
was
no,
very
no.
proud of how big my H
What
index
what
was.
is your H index? What is it?
It
20?
is 25.
Oh, I think it was 20 only a couple days ago. So I'm not sure that it was
No,
25.
no, it
Was
was
it?
24 when I talked about it,
Okay.
and I was surprised. I looked it up when I saw this thread. It's 25 now. So the H index, just to review, is a measure of the broadness of how many games you play. So when I say I have an H index of 25, it means in my recorded plays, there are 25 different games I have played 25 times each. So you need to play a lot of games a lot of times each to
Right.
get a big
Exactly.
H index.
So,
But oh my God, this group is all beating me. They're all so much
so
higher on the H
So,
index.
so our listeners responded to Ramon's post. Ramon said his H index is 31. Hey, that's pretty darn good,
That's
right?
amazing.
31, at least 31 games he's played 31 times. And then Mur Rockstro, he said his H index is 38. And then because he had nobody could top this, Bo Bondoy is at 40. Of 40 games, he's played 40 times or more.
That
So I
is just insane.
that
That's
is great. I love it.
I love this thread.
Yeah.
It's such a cool thing, and man, I never knew you could do that.
I think Bo was the last one that posted, and I think he had the highest. I don't think anybody. I put this in here a while ago, so I think Bo wins. So congratulations on Bo for now. But everybody, a lot of people responded to this, so it was really really cool. And this was all our listeners just came out of nowhere and put that up there. Everyone's proud of their H index. That's pretty cool. Maybe I should start tracking mine, which I will have it like at 2. But anyway, all right, let's get down to some questions here for strategy and tactics. Maxwell Bachman Whitney, he's at Maxwell underscore Oviedo Games. What do you feel is the optimal design for components like cards and player mats when it comes to iconography versus explanation text? I'm not sure I understand the question. Do
Do
you
you prefer having a bunch of text or an icon to replace all those texts?
do you lean towards more great iconography allows for more art and cleaner design, or are you on team clear explanations on components, reduce confusion and trips to the rule book? Okay, so basically it's, do you want to just see icons or do you want to see text to explain everything?
I'm team icons. I think a clever, clear set of icons is so much more aesthetically pleasing and easy to grok than a big block of text.
Okay. So, I mean, while I'll agree with that, I think that the problem is that it's only going to work in certain games. It's not going to work. Um, Terraforming Mars. It's not going to work in Arc Nova when you have 200 different cards and there's so many nuances
But
in the
there is pretty
different.
clear iconography in Terraforming Mars and things like that. There just also is explanatory text.
But but yeah, but you would have to know so much iconography in Arc Nova too. I mean, do you absolutely need to know to have that text there? Because well, it'll say things like animals 3 or something. It'll give a. I'm trying to remember some of the different effects that the thing has, like pouch 2. Like you'd have to go back to the rule book and learn all of
Yeah.
those things. So could it have put an icon there? And that I don't know.
Well, a lot of these really great games do have redundancy. They have the icons,
Yeah,
which is, once you know them, allow
yeah.
for speed and aesthetic quality. But if you look, the text is there as well if you get confused.
I'm gonna make a statement. I think that if there's more than 15 icons needed, then I need to then the text is more important. Because once you
Well,
have so
yeah,
many icons, it's
I'm
going
going
to
to
make
make a
the icons
counter
so hard.
statement.
Okay, go ahead.
If you have more than 3 lines of text, it's impossible to grok it.
I don't know. It's a hard one, man. Maxwell, this is a great question, but it's really hard. I think the complexity of the game will drive whether icons make sense or not. The
The
very stream.
quality of the icons is going to drive it.
Well, sure. I mean, of course. I mean, you don't want a bad set of icons, but
No.
in
And I'll
but in
just throw out there, Garfield Games and Shem Phillip are the absolute king
yeah,
of icons and graphic design.
yeah. Big shout out to Shem Phillips, awesome, and Garfield. They do great job. Um, but Euros, streamline Euros, they have a very limited set of icons, on their effects, and that's great. And you don't need the text, period. But when it's these kind of bigger designs with so much
Yeah,
variability, I think text is just needed. But great question, Maxwell. Iconography, good iconography, but sometimes you need text. Okay. Steven Sauer. He's at Steven Sauer. On a recent episode, you were asked about box cover slash back orientation. It
right.
reminded me of a
Horizontal,
situation.
vertical, the text. Yeah.
It reminded me of a situation I've been in and wondered how each of you deal with this. So, you just finished a larger size game and you want to keep the flow going and not lose any players from the table. I have a quick 4-step process that works for me. Place empty box at side of table. 2, extend arm straight and lay flat on table. 3, slowly rotate your arm, pushing every component into the open box. 4, close the box lid and make sure the top matches the back orientation. Now ready for next game. Do you ever do this, or does this idea hurt your brain? How do you keep players at the table? Wow. Oh my God. No. The answer is
I've totally done it.
no, no, no. You have
I've
never
totally done it. I
bull,
have. I
bullpucky.
have scooped everything into a box, closed it, and put it away. I
You are
have
a
no
sick
issue with
human
that.
being. No.
You want to get the next game to the table. You don't want to waste time, man.
Oh, come on. Spend
The
3 minutes.
biggest issue with it is a lot of the games I play are in a vault, in a pit, and they just don't scoop easy. So I say box bottom, vertical, push it against the side of the vault to scoop all the pieces inside, flip it, and put the lid on.
That is disgusting. You are a sick, dirty
Cards,
man.
wood, pieces, just get it all in
Yeah,
there.
I don't. So it's a funny thing. And I don't believe you because I've seen your games and they're very well organized. I don't believe you.
I don't put away my own games when you're there.
I put them away and they look great. That's no. So Stephen, you're crazy. You would never do this. Don't do this. How do you keep players at the table? You make them clean up the game with you. Put them in the baggies. Do all the stuff. Throw them in the box. Put the box aside. Get the next game. And you could have the next game ready to be played. But let's clean this one up first. Oh my God, that is painful for my brain.
I I seriously have no issue with it at all.
James Thompson from Norway. He's at James Jacob. Which of these factors would you say is most important for a board game success? All right, yeah, this is the one we've taken many times. How do you rate
Yeah.
or rank these things? Uh, Cover artwork, in-game artwork, gameplay, designer name, publisher name, positive reviews, an expensive marketing campaign. These are just some of the factors that strike me as being important, but
Yeah.
maybe there are others. I mean, okay, try to do this. I mean, it's gameplay is number one. It has to be
It
in the
is
end, gameplay.
definitely not. Gameplay is definitely not number one. A board game success comes off of the art. That the art gets people in the door. The gameplay makes it a trailing evergreen for a while after. But success is going to come from cover art and in-game art. The least important are going to be the publisher name, the marketing, and the gameplay.
So disagree. Everything he said is exactly wrong. Just take everything and put it upside down, and then you have it
Designer
right.
name matters, and artist name is starting to matter.
So here's the funny thing, James, is that nobody has the secret sauce. Nobody does. Now, Asmodee's got
I do.
right a tremendous amount of money, so they obviously have expensive marketing campaigns to everything. So that's going to help all their games, right? But does that make every game they put out a hit? Absolutely not. It will make my game a hit though, because they're going to put a lot of money into marketing. They told me anyway. So,
Your
but
game's a hit because Bree Woodward supervised incredible art and graphic design.
the woman is phenomenal. She's great. But the answer here is really nobody has it. It's a combination of everything you've said here. But I, in my heart, believe that if you don't have great gameplay in that box, that game is not going to be a hit. It could, boom, everybody talks about it, and then it's gone. And then nobody wants to play this terrible game anymore. If you don't got great gameplay, the game is not good. If you got crappy art, well, nobody might find the game. But if it has really great gameplay, there'll be an undertone of like, wow, this game is really good. I don't know.
I call back to the brilliant question of great art, terrible game, or great game, terrible art.
Oh, man. Corey, we are really going long here.
No
We only
worries.
took. All right, we're gonna take one more because we only took a couple and we got to get through. We're in December, so the people we're pretty close. December 11th, Ryan Keene asked us. He's at Ryan Keene. It was great to hear a bit of the Merchant of Venus story in this week's episode. I must have told the whole story on that episode, maybe in the end of the show stuff.
Yeah.
My question, what truth is there to the story? I heard that FFG's original plan was to publish only the standard version in the Merchant of Venus second edition, and it was because they included Steven Stronghold in the process that the classic version was included. Huh. I played standard a few times, but I don't really like it much. The classic is where it's at. Bonus question, any inside information on a possible third edition reprint? Second edition from 2012 has been long out of print. I
You know the story.
so I know the story. This is yeah, it says me written all over it. So the short answer is I don't know, but I don't think that because of me, they put the classic and their extended edition. I think that was always their thought process. I had some input in the end on the way everything came out and stuff like that, but very, 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 very little. This was a fantasy flight. Chris Peterson did a great job in bringing it back. There is no insider information that I have about a third edition reprint. For the
Me
record,
either.
I believe it will not happen. Certainly, somebody
I
could
I disagree. I think
theoretically.
it'll probably happen because right now we have a tremendous trend towards doing these super deluxe editions. And I think Merchant of Venus would do well with a super deluxe edition. Certainly better than some of the other games that have gotten super deluxe editions. So
Sure.
I kind of expect it. I don't know anything. I really don't. But I kind of expect it to be a title that's looked at for a super deluxe.
I hope so. And and doing another edition that had some modifications and maybe made it a slightly shorter game and things like that could not hurt. So, can't give you any information. I literally don't have any. If I had it, I would say, I don't know, but I don't really have any.
You're so bad.
I'm so bad. All right, let's get over to play testing. Corey, in your inimitable fashion, you gave us another great question last week. Let's talk about it. What do we have here? This is not the one, is it? Did I not put the?
I
No,
think
here it
that we
is.
are on
Yes,
that one that you just highlighted. I think it just
yes.
wasn't updated properly.
Oh,
So
I'm so sorry. Here we go.
that's
Corey, tell
now
us
you've
this.
deleted it, so I can't
No, there
read
you
it.
go.
Okay. So the question we gave was, what is the largest number of people you have ever played a single game with? Let's make this game a hobby game, or at least hobby game adjacent. So we're not talking about things like an outdoor sport or an MMO online or something like that.
Right.
So this
Go
was
ahead.
really interesting. I had a lot of fun reading through it. There wasn't any take homes. There was a lot of werewolf and big social deduction games, which I think are fantastic.
Right.
Gavin Kenny wrote, we played a 32 player game of Robo Rally at a games convention in Essex in the UK. When
Right.
you were destroyed, you were out, and it was the last robot standing. That sounds like utter chaos and
That
fun.
that is great. So we had a lot of responses. We had like almost two. In fact, it might have even been our longest one ever. We have two
Oh,
pages of
sure.
responses. Um, and I'm gonna highlight the last one that showed up here because this game, it, I have to talk about this. So Tiago Ali de Oliveira,
Oh, yeah.
he's a often contributor into our questions. He says, I don't know if this counts, but it is a game by Sid Saxon, so it should count. And the answer is, first of all, anything by Sid Saxon definitely counts. And number two, this is a great mention. He goes, it was a 30 plus player game of Haggle. Corey, have you ever heard of Haggle?
I have heard of Haggle. Oh my
Haggle
God, I haven't heard
is
about it for years.
Haggle is genius. It's brilliant.
Yeah.
It's a
Well,
it's
Sid
a
Saxon was an absolute genius.
it's a game you play at a party or at any kind of big group gathering, and it has very low structure. But what it does
Right.
have is everybody's given. Here's how the game plays. Everyone's given an envelope. That envelope has some scoring rules, but you don't get all the rules of how to score the game. It has cards in it too, and it might say things like orange cards are worth twice the value of blue cards. Each white card is worth 5 points unless the player turns in any black cards. Things like this. And by the end, when you turn in your final, when you turn in your
Your final
cards,
set of cards, yeah.
cards, or objects or whatever, because you could make it anything because you're just given a packet of information. When you turn it in, then the moderator will score everybody and say who won the game, who did the best. I played this once. I was the moderator, so I didn't get a chance to actually play it. But I played this at a party, a game gathering, where I gave it to everybody, but not everybody played. It's that kind of game where everyone gets a thing if they want, and then they'll go around and they'll think about it. They might go play a game and then they'll come back. Haggle is genius, and it can play basically any numbers of players. On Board Game Geek, it says it's 10 to 100 players, and you can do it with that many players. So, congratulations to Tiago for coming up with a game that I
That is a
haven't
fantastic one.
I haven't I haven't thought about it. I played this 20 plus years ago at my house in New
That's the last
Jersey.
time I heard about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm gonna
James
go ahead. Go ahead.
James DePaulo, I have to give respect here. Basically went into his SQL server list of games played and pulled the top ones. So I'm just going to list the few off the top. Magical Athlete with 13 people. That sounds like absolute chaotic fun. 25 words or less with 13. Jibber Jabble with 12. And Green Tea Wins with 11.
Wow.
Uh,
Oh, Corey.
man, I just love looking through this. Yes,
Corey, I'm losing you on the internet here. Hopefully, Corey, are you there? Uh-oh.
I I'm here, and it looks like my
Okay.
internet is fine.
Okay, we're back. We're back.
So
We'll tell Jake to cut
anyway,
a few seconds out of
I
that.
do want to mention James DePaula actually does live 20 list times players as one of his top games. The Play to Z, which is great.
Oh, which one was it? Again, you cut out a little bit there.
23 Knives and
Oh,
23
20.
Knives players is on his list of top player count games.
That's great. That is
So
great. All right, I'm making a note that our buddy Jake has got to do a little editing there. I got one here from Norman R. He says, I have played the Watch the Skies mega game with roughly 50 people. Do you know Watch the Skies? I don't think I know that one.
I do. I played that with my friend Barry. It is a very cool, weird game with different roles about alien invasion. Really cool one.
Wow. I would love to see how this game plays with so many people. Um, what else do we? I mean, it was.
We got
I
Peter.
like the really big numbers here, but like some people like the biggest one they've ever played was like Shadows of a Camelot with 8 people. I thought that was kind of weird. They've never played a game
Yeah.
bigger than that.
Well, Peter Haroldson wrote, I host two rooms at a boom at a couple conventions each
Oh,
year. And at
yes.
one point, we had 42 players. Woo!
That's a great one because that's another game you can play with almost any number of players. I'm not sure what the maximum that comes in the box, so to speak. I don't know what the number of cards. Two Rooms and a
Yeah.
Boom is a really cool social deduction game where you're trying to one person's trying to be the bomber and kill the president, and the other and obviously the president's got to stay away in a different room, and then you got to move yourself if you're on the red team to one room and if you're on the blue team to the other room. Really, really interesting game on social deduction.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Guido Van Horn calls out Fischer Flippen. Fischer Flippen Frikadellen with 16 or 17 people. That's an old Freedom and Freeze game that you can play with a crazy number of people.
Very, very cool. Really good. So, Corey, I quickly grabbed another one of your questions for next week. And I'm going to have to edit it a little bit here, but let's talk about what this week's question is. What do we have here?
So I wanted to know everybody's opinion on living rule books. This was a trend for a little while. FFG did it a little bit, and some other companies did it. A living rule book is a rule set for a game that lives online and is constantly being updated. So, sure, you get a rule book in the box, but really the definitive rule book is online at some maintained site. And constantly being changed, modified, edited to enhance the game or involve issues, questions, problems, things like that. So, yay
That
or nay? Are you guys for having a living rule book or against it? Should the game just be set in stone as it comes out? This is the rule book.
I, I I think my answer to this would be that it depends on the kind of game. I wouldn't want like most of the games sitting behind me here, right? To have a changing set of rules. Living rule books, I think, are best for I'm sorry, for role playing games, right? For games where almost by definition everything changes over
Sure,
time,
sure.
right? I mean, think about any given role playing system, new character classes added, right? You have to have a place where that is added, that changes. There's new supplements. Um, I don't know. I don't think I would really want it to be changing on a constant basis for most board games. What do you
I
think?
I'm on your side. I think the place living rule books are really useful is like Magic the Gathering, where you have
Yes.
constant expansions that are changing the situation. But there's been several board game companies. One of the big ones was Sierra Madre with Neanderthal and Greenland. Those rule books constantly changed for a pretty set board game.
Yeah, so we've now mentioned role playing games and CCGs, LCGs, right? So we're basically saying yeah, no board games. No, we shouldn't have it. But for maybe the other parts of the hobby, it makes more sense. And maybe that's one of the distinguishing factors between what we do and what we in the board game, card game side do, and the other parts of hobby gaming do. How about how about miniatures gaming? Probably in that second set too, because new armies have come out and
Oh,
stuff like that, right?
yeah. I don't know. I really don't play enough to have run into that very often, but that's a good idea.
So I am creating and doing it as fast as I can right now. I'm now creating the thread on Board Game Geek. Corey can't do this. So
I'm
that you have
incapable.
it right here. And we have it right here for next week. And I won't
I don't
screw it
know
up
how to
as I
use
did this week.
computers.
So, but your father does. Go over to the guild and find that playtesting thread and answer the question. And maybe we'll take your answer next week. And now, the final scoring. Thank you so much for listening and help us spread the word about this podcast by telling your friends to download Board Games Insider wherever they like to get their podcasts or watch Board Games Insider on the Podfather of Gaming YouTube channel. Do you want to be part of this podcast? You can. Go to the guild. Make sure you're a member. Ask us questions for strategy and tactics. Answer our question to you from the playtesting segment. Put it in the correct thread, though, because then we'll find it. And help us make this even better by engaging with us. Interact with us also on social media. You can find us everywhere: Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Blue Sky, YouTube, and the handle is the same. It's Board Games Insider, Portal Games US, Podfather Gaming, Dice Tower Dish, Play2Z Games, and Above Board TV. We'd love to see you at an upcoming convention. Hopefully, some people met Corey over at LyraCon. I'll see some friends over at the Gathering of Friends coming
Oh
up
yeah.
soon. That's going to be great. After that, it's going to be a little while. I'll see friends on the cruise, Podfather, the Cruise 3 Panama Canal. I know we have listeners that are going to be there, so let's make sure that we get some gaming in. Our podcast was professionally edited by Jake Thompson. Thank you, Jake, for being part of this team. You're going to need to edit us at around the 54-minute mark. I think I wrote that down. Yes, I did. We'll talk about that. I'll send you a note. And also, that great voice you hear doing the intro, the outro, the in-between segments is that of Ray Greenlee. He can be contacted to do your voiceover work at raygreenleevoiceover.com. Corey, this brings us to the end of the show. And
Yes.
you reported on something that we
Now,
put and we left it here at the end, and I have information
I
about it. You want to talk
know
about it? You want to talk about it first?
normally we don't do board game announcements, but this is news enough. I thought it took special announcement. Restoration Games has announced a Lord of the Rings themed redo of the classic title, The Queen's Gambit. This has forever been regarded as one of the great games that is unobtainable and is a collector's item.
It's
So
over there somewhere. I can't find it right now, but
and I think this is going to be
it's
an
in my collection.
absolutely huge crowdfunding project. It's very exciting that the game is coming back from Rob Davio, who is Restoration Games, who also was one of the original designers on the Queen's Gambit.
Yep.
So it'll be treated well.
It
So
really will be. And I got, by the way, this is called Lord of the Rings, The King's Gambit, right?
yeah.
So it's obviously in the Lord of the Rings universe, and it does not directly take Queen's Gambit, Star Wars Queen's Gambit, and just retheme it. Does not.
No.
You're going to be playing in the vein of that. You're going to be playing on different battlefields,
Well,
so to
Queen's
speak.
Gambit had three fields that all were working in different ways against each other and with each other.
Exactly. And you're going to be having similar things, and they're doing it in 3D, like the Queen's Gambit was. You had
Yeah.
the three levels, so you're going to be playing as the forces of evil are going into Minas Tirith, and you're going to be ascending on the levels of Minas Tirith, and like Gandalf is there, and he's a wrecking machine. He's killing things. And then you're going to have the Battle of the Pelennor Fields, where all the big forces are coming at each other. It I got a
The
chance
ring
to play
bearers trying
this.
to destroy the. Oh, did
Yes,
you?
I got a chance to play the
That's
prototype,
amazing.
and so I played this. Uh, and I did so badly that Rob Davio literally said, "Oh, I didn't anticipate anybody would be this bad at this. So I'm going to do a Bonacore thing here to make sure that that can't happen." I literally ignored something so much.
Wow.
Yeah, I ignored one of the fields, parts of it so much that I lost the game on the first turn. He's like, yeah, that shouldn't happen. So we're gonna do a Bonacore fix here so that can't happen.
So I just want
I
to
was
throw
so
out there,
embarrassed. I love Rob. He's so great.
so I think this has a potential of being a record-breaking crowdfunding project
Yeah.
with the IP, with the history, with the game
Yeah.
quality, everything like that. Because you know that famously the record-breaking crowdfunding project has been Frosthaven for a long time at
Yep.
about 13 million and change. That was broken by an RPG. Cosmere from Brandon Sanderson broke it, but it was an RPG, so we said, well, maybe the board game record still stands. And
Hmm.
just recently, the Cyberpunk TCG broke that record. So a trading card game has now broken the board game record. But I mean, still purists among us might go, well, that's not really the board game record. So
Right.
we'll see what happens with the King's Gambit. I hope it does well.
Yeah, I hope it does. Insta buy it for me, of course. So thank
Of
you everybody
course.
for listening, watching. You're the best. We love you all. Take care, and we'll see you next week.
See you later, everyone.
Bye bye. Still looking for it hit me.